Today I have the end of Discovery and an unplanned reveal, when you can see Prodigy, probably, of course, a featured artist, and when Strange New Worlds Season 4 will begin filming. This is Volume 50 of the Star Trek Void, where I try to fill the gaps between new episodes with some news, some information, and hopefully a little bit of entertainment. And today, of course, I am going to start with those birthdays. And my first recent birthday in the Star Trek universe is shared by StarTrekMovies.com. It's wishing a very happy birthday to Anthony Montgomery, who played Travis Mayweather on all 4 seasons of Star Trek Enterprise. And again, I must say, talked to him, met him my very first Star Trek convention in Las Vegas, and he is so nice. Actually had a nice chat with him about my son, who was going into training for being a police officer, and how I was a little nervous about him. And he was so generous, so kind, so nice. Happy birthday, Anthony. And a very happy birthday to Julie Cobb, also shared by TrekMovie.com. Happy birthday to Julie Cobb, whose first credited role was Yeoman Leslie Thompson on the Star Trek original series episode By Any Other Name. 28 years after it aired, her daughter guest starred on Star Trek Voyager in The Shoot. Love those little bits of Star Trek trivia. Very happy birthday, Julie. And a very happy birthday to Leah Thompson. I was so excited when she joined the Star Trek family. Here we go. Happy birthday to Leah Thompson, who directed 2 Star Trek Picard Season 2 episodes and also appeared in the episode Fly Me to the Moon. And yes, she's Back to the Future, Leah Thompson, and a prolific director. Love her. Yes, I saw Back to the Future in theaters when I was like 10. Fantastic to see her join the family. Again, I can't stress this enough. Very happy birthday to Leah. And our one and only remembrance in this volume of the Star Trek Void. Trek Movie shares this. On his birthday, we remember the great Rene Auberjonois, who was Odo for all 7 seasons of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, guest starred on Enterprise, and played Colonel West in an eventually deleted scene from Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. He is very missed, and yes, incredibly missed from this universe. Loved Renee, loved Odo. Such an amazing character that only he could have brought to life, and absolutely deserves some time to be remembered. Now, I'd like to take a little time to celebrate some of our actors and what they are out and about doing right now. As we know, Season 3 is done filming for Strange New Worlds, which means that our actors have a little time to follow their own dreams. And I love Melissa Navia, who loves to share what she's up to, and she is flying around with Worf. Now, Melissa said some time ago that she really wanted to learn how to fly. Playing a pilot inspired her. And so this is a fantastic photo. Had to share it. Shared by Melissa. Season 3 has wrapped, flight training underway. Next up, Trek Long Island this weekend, June 1st and June 2nd. Which was a great time. I've got an image for you there. Followed by the Bentonville Film Festival with Gina Davis, bentonvilleforum.org. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of hashtags there we're familiar with. But dude, she's getting flying lessons from Worf. I don't even have any extra words to say. So we're going to move on to the next bit. And it's partly this picture here. We've got Melissa. She was at Long Island answering questions, talking to fans. Fantastic. And we're very excited that when our stars make it to these conventions, because how else do we get to stand next to them, talk to them? But it's the comment on this image that I wanted to show you. Because apparently she had a time of it. One more day of Star Trek Long Island. Got to hike up 10 flights of back stairs with Tara Rosling yesterday. Elevators not prepared for Trek traffic. And I could see that, having gone to a few conventions. It could get crowded, which is the nicest way to put it. Looked down mid-climb to see someone with an impressive bat'leth in slow pursuit. Made me smile. Star Trek, LLAP, TrekLongIsland.com. Fantastic and fun little tidbit to share behind the scenes. I always kind of wonder, what is it like for them at conventions? Because, yeah, we see them roaming around. If you're lucky enough to go to Star Trek Las Vegas, I always suggest go down to the Rio bars around like 9, 10, 11 and just hang out. Don't buy yourself a pop. You don't have to drink. I usually just sit at one of the slot machines with a drink turned around, not playing slots, just watching the world. And you never know who you'll see down there. It's one of the fun kind of behind the scenes convention tricks that I like to use. But I always wonder for the actors, we see them coming to the tables. We sometimes see them at the bar, like I said, but we don't really see them out doing stuff so much. And the fact that they have to go up and down the stairs because the elevators were broken down, I just sort of picture all of our stars in a trail going up and down the stairs. All that extra work just to see us. So nice of them. And now I did have something from Anson Mount in my last video where he said filming was done. It was a wrap. And then we got some more information from him. Bono once said that the world needs more Canada in it. Having worked here many years and having married an Alberton girl, I certainly agree. Thanks once again, Canada, for your tremendous hospitality. We'll see you again in the spring when Star Trek Strange New Worlds goes back into production for season 4. So there you have it. In the spring 2025, we expect for season 4 to begin filming. Pretty much on schedule as we would expect. Does mean I believe that we're going to get those large gaps between seasons regardless. So hang on. Wait for season 3 to come out. Enjoy it as much as you can because it's going to be a bit before we get season 4. And now for this week's featured artist. I'd like to take a little bit of time to recognize some of the fan art that is put out. Rather, it is on paper, on digital, through video, through music, whatever. I like to just point out something fun that the fans have done. This one is done by Eggsy Trek Jedi. Love the name. Let's see what we've got here. Now, I love Bonnie Gordon. She's just one of those fantastic people. If you have 2 seconds to talk to her, take it. This one, again, like I said, is shared by, and we're going to do the @eTrekJedi, @BonnieBellG, with great respect. I hope you will like a poor token of my appreciation for you, your acting and singing talents, and your incredible beauty. And I don't have her answer here, but she did appreciate it, which is why I saw it and wanted to share it. This is very cool. I like it. She looks like she's coming from a Ren fair, but in space. Really well put together. I enjoy this. Thanks so much, Eggsy. And of course, since Bonnie is the voice of the Protostar's computer, this is a great segue for me to announce that on June 30th, Star Trek Prodigy will be coming to Netflix. Or maybe July 1st. Yeah, there's some weird thing going on. Netflix has apparently given out 2 different dates depending on who you happen to be signing up for Netflix. So Trek Central has a slightly different take on this. Breaking news, Star Trek Prodigy Season 2 airs July 1st on Netflix. While it's unclear if it's a full season drop or a weekly release, we do now know that July 1st, 2024 is when Season 2 will arrive on Netflix. Or June 30th. This is what's so funny. Literally, different screenshots have been taken by different fans. Let me show you that real quick. So on Recetera.com, and I will share that below, we have this post from one fan. I saw this other different sites, people posting these images from Netflix about the release date for season 2 of Star Trek Prodigy. What do you think? If this is true, I'm excited because the first season was great. I agree. I'm excited to see it. I'm confused as to when we're going to see it because the very next post is coming June 30th. Fantastic. Wonderful. The next one says coming soon, July 1st. I mean, these are people on their accounts taking screenshots and sharing them. So there's some confusion. I personally would go by whatever your Netflix account says. It may have to do with it being a midnight dropping. And so in one place, it might technically be on the 1st, but in some other place, it might be, 10 p.m. on the 30th. And so double check your Netflix to make sure when yours is coming out, because apparently we can't tell you for sure. What I can tell you is that the Discovery finale was fantastic. I enjoyed it. Most people who are fans of the show really appreciated how they went out. We got a happy ending for the captain. We got a little fun character reveal and just all around good stuff. We even got a reference to the Calypso, which is either really upsetting people or really pleasing people. You can't please every Trekkie. You just really can't. But in general, we were definitely pleased with this ending. This one is shared by Sci-Fi Sisters. There are no words for what you mean to us, Star Trek Discovery. Simply thank you, because without you, there is no us. This is a fantastic way to just honor them. They have actually inspired not just a new generation of fans, but a new series to chat about, and one that inspires people, women of color, women in general as well. This was a fantastically casted show with incredible diversity. I truly appreciated it every episode. I am so sorry, Balana and Tom, but my new favorite couple, my couple goal couple, is now Stamets and Culver. That's just how it is. I'm so sorry. But I loved this show. It was fantastic. Paramount makes sure that everybody knew when it was coming out so nobody would miss it. This one is a Star Trek on Paramount Plus posting. Everything has led to this epic ending. Stream the series finale on Discovery right now on Paramount. Episode 10 now streaming if you have missed it. It is up. The complete series is up on Paramount Plus. I would say that if you didn't really know if you would like it, give it a second shot, because overall it has been a fun ride, and I'm going to miss just everybody, really. Now about that surprise and apparently not so planned reveal at the end. If you have watched way too much Star Trek like I have, as soon as the reveal of who Kovich really is came to light, your brain would, oh my gosh, this man has been surviving through 1,000 years of history that we know of for sure. That is freaking cool. Yes, Daniels, who either caused trouble or helped out Archer on the original Enterprise and X, he's a familiar guy. Maybe not a familiar face, obviously a different actor, but just my brain exploded and was so pleased at the same time. And of course, out of this whole interview, I picked out a fun paragraph. This one reveals that that was not the plan. It's not a paradox, but neither was Kovich predestined to be Daniels. In an interview with Cinema Blend's Mick Joast, Discovery's showrunner Michael Paradise revealed that Kovich-Daniels link wasn't planned from the start, but rather something that evolved. As Paradise goes on to explain in the Cinema Blend piece, the idea for Kovich as the galaxy's most famous temporal agent, unless Lieutenant Duquesne also counts, was in fact pitched by writer Carlos Sisko and Eric J. Robbins in either season 4 or 5, with little Easter eggs along the way in 5. Yeah, so this fun and touching ending, this little reveal, came out of nowhere, but it was a fun idea. And I know some people get upset with all of the Easter eggs that seem to be peppered in kind of everywhere. I personally appreciate it. It respects the fact that I have spent my entire life watching Star Trek and have way too much knowledge about things that means absolutely nothing in my real life. And it is nice when the writers, the producers, directors, when they give little nods to us being such nerds. Now, by now, most people watching Discovery are aware that the story will not end. We're going to continue, possibly with Tilly, maybe with others who show up from time to time in the new series Starfleet Academy. So what was the driving force to make this new series happen in that timeline? Why not create a new series that happens in more familiar territory, such as the TNG timeline? Well, there's a simple reason for it, and I thought it was a very worthwhile reason worth sharing. So in this article by TrekMovie.com, there's a fantastic quote by Alex Kurtzman that answers that question. And I'm going to read at least part of it here for you, and I will, of course, include the link to the full article below. Kurtzman tells us, as the father of a 17-year-old boy, I see what my son is feeling as he looks at the world and to his future. I see the uncertainty. I see all the things we took for granted as given are not certainties for him. I see him recognizing he's inheriting an enormous mess to clean up, and it's going to be on his generation to figure out how to do that. And that's a lot to ask of a kid. My thinking was, if we set Starfleet Academy in the halcyon days of the Federation where everything was fine, it's not going to speak to what kids are going through right now, which is not only an astute observation, but I think respects the original vision for Roddenberry and what Star Trek was supposed to be for viewers. Let's continue. It'd be a nice fantasy, but it's not really going to be authentic. What'll be authentic is to set it in the timeline where this is the first class back over 100 years, and they are coming into a world that is only beginning to recover from a cataclysm, which was the burn as established on Star Trek Discovery, where the Federation was greatly diminished. So they're the first who'll inherit it, who'll re-inherit the task of exploration as a preliminary goal, because there just wasn't room for that during the burn. Everybody was playing defense. It's an incredibly optimistic show, an incredibly fun show. It's a very funny show, and it's a very emotional show. I think these kids, in different ways, are going to represent what a lot of kids are feeling now. And again, while a lot of us are not looking forward to Space 90210, Star Trek 90210, however you want to put it, I think I can see why his inspiration hit him to go in that direction. When you have kids, it does change your point of view and your perspective of what kind of work and what things you put out into the world. So this makes sense. And even if it's not my favorite show in the end, I do hope it touches on points for kids who are growing up in a world where things are a little more uncertain than they were for my generation and probably yours. And in that respect, I can get behind the show. Now, that is all I have to update us on so far this week. There most likely will be another volume before the week's end, and I do want to keep an eye out on when that actual date will be and why it seems to be June 30th or July 1st, depending on who you happen to be when you open Netflix up on your computer, your device. So we'll see if we can get that straightened out later on. Until then, binge the first season if you haven't watched it. Go watch Star Trek Discovery again. It was a great ending. And again, if you didn't give it a fair shot the first try, try it again. You never know. Some people love these shows years after, and it's been about 7 since that first season, so give it another shot if you'd like. Don't forget to continue supporting Star Trek Lower Decks. I'm not sure how we're going to save it, but we weren't sure how we were going to save Prodigy either, and that turned out all right, sort of, someday. Either the 1st or the 30th. At any rate, don't forget to keep hashtagging Save Star Trek Lower Decks. Don't forget to also try to keep Star Trek Legacy in your minds. I've got a couple of things coming up concerning them. And also, don't forget to have a great week. Thanks so much for joining me here again. And don't forget, you can always check out any of my other videos. They will be Outlander and Star Trek, but I do try to update Star Trek stuff pretty much every week, sometimes twice a week. Just sort of depends on what's out there in the world and what the heck's going on in my world. I'd like to again thank my patrons and my members. I do appreciate that extra support. It really does help me out. And to those of you who are coming again and sharing, thank you so much. Doing this Star Trek Void on a regular basis and keeping us up to date is sort of new for me. Let me know what you think below. Give me a like, subscribe if you like the channel, and don't forget to hit that notifications bell if you want to know when the next video comes out. And if you want to get more Star Trek information right now, go check out any of my other videos, and when you do so, I'll see you there. And of course, since Bonnie is the voice of Prodigy's it is not a paradox, but neither was Kovic's Thanks once again, Canada, for your yeah, skip that. We're going to start this over.